What's up, everyone? Welcome to my corner of the internet. I'm your host, Ryan Kramer, and this is Crossover Commerce, presented by PingPong Payments, the leading global payments provider helping sellers keep more of their hard-earned money. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Ryan Kramer, and welcome to episode 80 of Crossover Commerce, presented by PingPong Payments. Just kicking us off real quick, let me tell you a little bit about our presenting sponsor, PingPong Payments. We are a marketplace. We help marketplace sellers and entrepreneurs global solutions for contributing domestic and international funds. An account with PingPong enables companies to significantly reduce their costs when receiving or making international payments, all in one platform that helps increase operational efficiencies, saves time, and most importantly, saves you money. So go ahead and check out that link below in the comments and show notes as well. Learn how you can save money with PingPong. Sign up for free today. Go ahead and click on that link below and you'll get your first month of international FX with PingPong for $0. Again, no fee for PingPong when you sign up through the link below. Go ahead and check that out today. But it's not about just PingPong. It's about our guest today as well. Because this is episode 80, I wanted to have a really special guest on today. And believe it or not, it's going to be his first podcast. So I'm really excited to talk with him, get his insights, tips, and tricks about social media content. You name it, we're going to help you, the Amazon sellers as well. But because this is a live episode, if you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, welcome if this is your first episode, or if it's your 80th one that you've joined us on Crossover Commerce for, welcome. I'm Ryan Kramer, again, the host of this show. I like to provide tips of nuggets of knowledge, a little nugget, throwback to what we're going to talk about later, nuggets of knowledge in the Amazon and e-commerce space for you, the Amazon seller or the e-commerce seller, to apply to your business either now, today, or close in the future so you can grow a little bit more each day. But what I like to do is come on live about 4 to 5 times per week with my experts, if you will, in my network that I love to share information with to you, the listeners. So if you're watching this live, you can comment on the show notes below or in the Facebook comment section or LinkedIn comment section, YouTube comment section. Go ahead and put your questions, your thoughts, or just say hi. We will see those and we'll make sure we give you a shout out on the show today. We want to make sure you walk away a happy customer, if you will. But if you're watching this later, you can also do the same thing. Watch it. If you have a question about a specific topic, go ahead and write your questions as well, and we will make sure to answer those today. Again, if you're not watching this live on social media, you can actually download a lot of our podcasts that are already up on Spotify. You can watch them or listen to them, on Amazon, Apple, or Google Podcasts. Really, wherever you can consume a podcast, that's where I'm going to be. Just search Crossover Commerce, and you can sign up for notifications when our audio versions go live. I'm planning on getting a lot of those out the door and into your inboxes, if you will, your devices, your Kindles, whatever that may be, here shortly, so you can catch up on all 80 episodes so far. But do me a favor again, follow, like, and share this episode if you're watching live. Make sure that other people are aware of this episode as well. But about our guest today, it's not, again, just me. If it was just me, that would be one boring podcast. I like to have guests on to provide their insight and expertise. Our guest today is the content marketing manager at Ppc Entourage and co-founded Days of Nuggets in 2019. He began his digital marketing career working with elected officials and political candidates by managing everything from email marketing to press releases to social media curation, growth, and management of constituent services inquiries from folks in the community. His passion for political and community activism actually led him to becoming a politician at the age of 25. Awesome. We can even dive into that a little bit. But fast forward to 2021, he considers himself a recovering politician, on pause for now. But today he is very passionate about his work as a marketer, focused on curating valuable content and creating highly engaged fan bases, growing audiences, and improving the online reputation of Ppc Entourage. Ppc Entourage is actually, if you haven't heard about them, we had their co-founder, Mike Zagari, on as well in a prior episode, but Ppc Entourage is an Amazon seller software that analyzes all of your sponsored ads data in a super visual way. And then with a couple of clicks of a button, they can help optimize everything for you. Dive into that a little bit, but please welcome to the show, Matt Abbruzzese of PPC Entourage. Matt, welcome to Crossover Commerce. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Matt, I just
excited.
butchered your last name. Matt, I butchered your last name. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I did it again. I told you, I practiced.
You can say Matt A. In Italian, it's Abbruzzese. I just say Matt Abbruzzese because it's a mouthful, and in America, you Americanize things. So it's Abbruzzese, but I go by Matt Abbruzzese.
Well, I apologize for that. And again, when you do this live, we practice this, I swear to God, like 10 times. If people were watching us live, they'd think I was crazy. And I was like, I got this. But when you read through it, you're like, my God.
I was like,
I just blanked.
Yeah. I was like, Abbruzzese.
Abbruzzese, yeah.
Now, exactly. Matt Abbruzzese. Say it.
I'm going to go back and edit it. Matt Abbruzzese. Look at that. So anyways, Matt, welcome to Crossover Commerce. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're fantastic in terms of the content you guys are pumping out, but also just kind of your background story is really unique and fascinating. Like you and I have talked before just about like your background expertise leading you to PPC Entourage, which has a really engaging fan base. I say fan base, like audience, if you will, of people who use your software, but also people who ask questions. So for those who are watching live, who's Matt? Who's Matt A? Who's Matt Abbruzzese? Who is the man behind the brand, if you will? We know Mike from the show very well, but who's Matt? Like, tell us about that story.
I don't know. Who am I? No, just kidding. So yes, thanks for having me again. And I love my job at PPC Entourage as the content manager. And I love the fact I'm taking a lot of great pride in being a co-founder of Days of Nuggets back in late November 2019. I'm 33 years old. Right now, I am in my parents' house. I'm a millennial, and I'm one of those during the pandemic. Moved back. I was in DC, moved back in with your parents, and it was actually just before the pandemic. And so I planned on moving into Brooklyn or Manhattan over a year ago, but that's okay. Things changed, and everyone, thankfully, is healthy. But it's a little cramped in here, and they're out of the house for now, and the phone is literally unplugged, ringers off.
Oh, the dial phone is out, right?
They're old school. They're old school. They're amazing. I'm so grateful. I have the best parents in the world. But yeah, phone talkers, loud New York City hippies, and just the best people. But they had to be off the premises and literally the phone off the hook.
That's hilarious. And maybe asking a question about them, what did they do that kind of, because this is what I've always see, like your family life can shape who you are as an either entrepreneur or as a business person. Your background actually didn't stem in e-commerce. It actually stemmed in politics from the get-go. So how did that journey, start for you, which led you into e-commerce? Like that weird love story, if you will, that led you to e-commerce.
Well, let me tell you about my story. So I was pretty studious, a pretty extroverted person my whole life. I love my friends. I love my family. I'm not a bridge burner. I won't let it happen. And I just love people, and I love the sport of diving. I was a springboard diver for 17 years. And I went to the University of Delaware. I got a bachelor's in mass communications and another.
Are there any famous people from the University of Delaware that we should know about?
I don't know. Maybe our president.
That's a big deal, I guess.
I'd say Joe Biden.
Shout out to Mr. President Joe Biden. If you're listening, welcome to the show, sir. But anyways,
I've met him before. He's a very nice guy.
That's awesome.
But yes, it is. And so, yeah, I got a double major in that, in Italian studies, and I went on a scholarship for diving. So in June 2009 or May 2009, I graduated from the University of Delaware, and I moved right to DC, Washington, DC, about 6 days after I graduated. So I went from Delaware. Yeah, I went back to New York, grabbed all my stuff, moved down to DC, and I was there for 11 years. What a journey that was! And I am now moved back up here in New York. I'm a New Yorker. I grew up here, but I'm a Washingtonian. I'll always be a Washingtonian at heart, whether I move back there or not. yeah, I got started in government, and then in local politics, municipal, DC, District of Columbia politics. So very hyper local. There's 8 wards in the District of Columbia, and a mayor and 296 commissioners. And I was getting pissed off about what was going on in my neighborhood. Aside from no parking, because that's the least of the problems, but that does
It's
matter.
a big problem in DC.
It's a big problem in DC. But trash, safety, and just everything. And so I said, what am I going to do? And I looked up my civic association. I looked up my local government, and I went to a meeting, and literally before I knew it, I was on the board of my civic association, which, the boundaries are 20, 30,000 people or so, maybe 20,000. And then I got involved with the local government at the most hyper local level. It's called an advisory neighborhood commission in Washington, D.C. They're great. It showed me that I can make a difference and an impact in my community. And politics has always been something I've been passionate about and interested in since probably about 10 years old. Seriously. And so I'm very open about the fact that I have aspirations to run again someday, but my career in politics, aside from working for one of my mentors, a late Jim Graham, the council member for Ward 1 for a few years, doing constituent services, helping him, just everything under the umbrella, like you said in the introduction. And that goes, the same with e-commerce sellers, with politicians, with just everything is your reputation, your brand, your people. And do you care about your constituents? Of course. So you got to figure out a system where you can take the inquiries from social media, email, phone calls, and just make it all work. And so my part was coming in and elevating their not just the presence, because he's a pretty known guy, managing it, curating content, but also responding to there's a lot of things going on when you're an elected, and people are inundating you all day, not in every way. And social media, this was about 6, 7, 8 years ago. I was there for 11 years. So that graduated into me running for commissioner of my own neighborhood. That was in 2014 in the general election cycle. And I lost. I think I got 37 or 39% of the vote. There's 1,000 people or so that voted. And it was a 2,000 to 3,000 person district.
So I was going to say, a commissioner, what does that relate to? If people are listening to this and they don't know what that is, I'm not familiar, and I'm in Indiana. So what's a commissioner responsible for?
Right. So a mayor in DC, there's 12 council members, 8 are ward council members for the 8 wards, and 4 are at large. And then there's 296 advisory neighborhood commissioners. So although they don't have legislative power, an advisory neighborhood commissioner, an ANC commissioner, has great weight and a lot of influence, and is your representative at the most hyper-local level if you're a citizen and a resident in the District of Columbia. And so what was your question again?
What would you consider? What is it?
Basically, what does it correlate to?
Yeah,
like a delegate or an assemblyman, or in New York State we have assemblymen. In Virginia they have delegates. That's what I'd equate it to.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. In Indiana, I don't know what you guys have, but we have lots of cornfields, and I was gonna say, you mean people? I was gonna say animals, or other livestock, things like that. I love Indiana, by the way. My ties to Indiana.
Right, because you trained at IU, correct? You went to
Bloomington.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, Indiana University, Bloomington. I went for a couple summers over in my middle school years for training camp for a few weeks at a time. And that was Jeff Huber running the program, and that is Indiana University, Purdue, all those are top notch. Those are our Olympic diving athletes. And
I think there are still people from Purdue actually that are trying to qualify. I think qualifications are coming up for the Olympics. So shout out to those people in my backyard, literally in the backyard.
Absolutely. Really?
No, I don't know. They're about an hour away. Yeah, they're close.
An hour away in Indiana's your backyard.
Yeah, basically. We're on the same field.
Right. So and then also my great respect for Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, but I digress.
Right.
So that led me to I lost that election, and I had a mini Democratic Party of DC, so the DNC in a local level, in the state level they call it, even though it's not a state. I think it should be, but I won a very small election to represent my ward, the Ward 1 Democrats, on it as an executive officer, as a secretary. And then I ran for that general election to represent my district and lost. And you know what? It crushed me, to be honest. It was probably the best thing, one of the best things that's ever happened to me, that failure, which fear and regret are the thieves of joy. That's like something I heard from one of my friend's mothers about 15, 20 years ago, and it resonated with me instantly. And I live by it. If I never ran, if I never took if I never did it, then I wouldn't have had the experience, or I could have said, hey, I never did that. Like I wanted to. So I learned a lot from it. And, I play clean. And I'm friends with the guy who beat me, John Green, to this day. I'm all about that. And then I had one more election. It was a party election on a small level, representing the LGBTQ arm of the Democratic Party in the District of Columbia. And so that term ended, and when I left to come back to New York. But let's talk about e-commerce, Amazon.
Right.
Selling.
I was gonna say, so like that's a story in itself, and most people. I have friends who are in politics and they never like truly get away. They say, oh yeah, like I'm getting out of politics. It's never out of politics. Like you escape from it. Going to e-commerce is completely different and completely, a whole nother part of your brain that you have to tap into. So where does it come from? I'm going to take a political background, apply what I know and how to do great things, and apply it to something in e-commerce. And even more specifically, not just your own business, to a service provider like PPC Entourage.
So it started out with a relative who started an Amazon private label business and needed help, to be honest, building their audience, making their content, doing email marketing, and building landing pages, just doing everything under the umbrella. And that was in around 2016. And at the time in 2016, I was juggling managing local political campaigns for candidates running for school board and council and whatnot. And then my other involvement in the party, I have to have a life somehow, right? And then also getting paid for getting other money streams, like working for this Amazon seller. And that actually, there's a lot of similarities when you break down e-com, like being a small business owner, or being an elected official, or just doing anything. There's a lot of branding and all these tips for social media and content management that we're going to talk about apply to everybody in a sense. But man, oh man, e-commerce and Amazon advertising world has taught me so much, and it has connected me to people like you and dozens of others. And so that graduate, Mike Zagari, noticed he's friends with my brother, and I back in 2016, 17, my brother's bachelor party, I threw an epic bachelor party. What can I say? And it had about 20 guys. I put out email marketing campaigns like sexy HTML, MailChimp type stuff. I was monitoring everything because, guys, they're like all over the place. So I'd follow up. You didn't RSVP. Are you coming? Mike Zagari was very impressed. And he said that.
He's like, you're getting me to engage, you son of a gun.
Yeah. He was very impressed. And I was I was like, thanks. And that turned into an opportunity over around the early 2018 at PPC Entourage, coming on as the content manager, as the social media marketing guy. And I really love the job, and we're really growing. And it's because of our company culture, and it's because we are not afraid to try new things, and we just are working around the clock and have everybody on an individual level. Our coworkers have great relationships, and then as a team, as a whole, it's a really great workplace, and I'm really happy there. It's for those of you who don't know what PPC Entourage is, it's a software it's software to scale Amazon ads, and there's results-driven management. So we have our PPC Entourage software to optimize your campaigns. We have the margins tool, and we have our EMS, our Entourage Management Services, with fantastic account managers.
And yeah, you guys are constantly being touted as one of the top performing, not just services, but softwares out there to help manage campaigns. So what is it like in terms of building? So software at the end of the day, everyone's pulling from very similar data, right? Like I used to work in SaaS. Like my background is there's always source of truth, right? You're getting data from Amazon, but everyone can theoretically tap into the same data source. What makes it different for you guys to package it differently, but help people understand it better and break it down into like consumable bites in terms of like building an audience? Like that's your job ultimately.
Absolutely. So this is something we're still figuring out how to do better.
To be determined, right?
Right. I mean, it's an ever changing, just everything's changing all the time. But what doesn't change is getting better at production in the studio. You know, putting out weekly videos, which is what we do every Monday. And you know, we have a topic. We make a blog out of it. But Mike records it. We have our great video editors. Shout out to Billy Ribka, Video Editing Studios, BR Studios. I take that content, which is, we try to make it very simple, but to even make it bite-sized and micro and digestible on social media, like for instance, YouTube Shorts, the new YouTube Shorts, or of course on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We make micro videos out of these 5, 10, 15-minute YouTube videos. And so that has been really successful, actually, organically, having these 30 to 60 seconds, now like 30, 45 seconds or so.
Anything longer, people just lose interest, right? This is an hour-long show. We've already lost half our audience. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably. Do we even have one? Of course we do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Look at all these people. Hey, if you're listening to
tuned in. How many?
I know this is the beauty of me being the person who gets to see everything. I don't have to tell my guests how many or how little my audience. But if you're listening to this live, give us a shout out. Just say hi. That's all you have to do. Or a hand wave emoji, maybe like a person in sunglasses. Go ahead and just let Matt know that you're listening live and that you're here to listen to his content. So put that in, and we'll make sure that we show those on screen. But again, questions are also welcome. So Matt, continue. Go ahead.
All right. And also, I will be sharing this out again, and this will be recorded and viewable on, Facebook and YouTube. So I have a lot of friends and family and supporters. I'm so grateful for them. They're all like, I'm going to tune in, or I can't. I'll do it later. So hopefully you get a lot of eyeballs. You get a lot of people learning things and new followers, and grow your own audience here with this awesome podcast.
That. We're here to bring nuggets of information, like you said, and you're already dropping some great stuff. So you're producing and taking consumable information, making more bite-sized. How's that helping Amazon sellers now, or e-commerce sellers, I should say?
So, well, I look at our data, and, 15, 30 seconds, people like fade out. So in that first 15, 30 seconds of the 30 to 60 second micro clip, we release, you know, one to three times a week out of that, the video of the week that we put up on YouTube, the full version. We go right into it, and it's like we just make it super simple, you know, like 4 easy auto campaign, 4 easy ways to optimize your auto campaign, or you know, to talk about it from my angle, or for people that are freelancers, digital, you know, social media managers, or doing it themselves. You know, they just started an Etsy business. They just, like a bunch of my friends and some clients, or they just became an Amazon seller, like somebody I just know, and I'm gonna try and help, so they don't violate the terms of service, and so they accidentally, you know, or so they can learn how to optimize their listing, but at the same time build their social media presence and do it the right way, and not in a spammy way, and just be genuine. You don't want to imitate, you know, the other competitors. You want to just do what you do, and you know, that happens all too often. So, you know, if you, for those of you out there, if you want to take your micro content, which is 30 to 60 seconds tops of larger version videos, and cut them down, and then post that across Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube community. If you can, once you get that, if you get that after 1,000 or 1,400 subscribers and some hours, you get the ability to do posts, or Amazon posts itself, Amazon advertising posts. You post that micro video, and then, you know, you give a little snippet of what it is, and the link, the YouTube link, or whatever link you want to drive to the page where they can see the full version. So then they can go to watch the full version. And I recommend, you know, I'll slow down in a second, but when it comes to, like, with this in hashtags, this is a constant, like, how many hashtags, this and that, you know. I'm always like, you know, I'm learning or testing things out. And a lot of these people are on Instagram, right? A lot of you are on Instagram, right? Everyone's on Instagram.
On the Insta. That's what us on Instagram call it, the Insta.
Right. Or I guess it's not.
I don't know what that means, but I know it.
Right?
Exactly.
Sliding in my DMs. But so, which I hate, by the way. I'm not a fan of, like, you know, someone follows you, you follow them, and then all of a sudden you get an automated response. I don't hate it. It's just not my style. We don't do that. It's kind of spammy to me, even though I believe most of these people do not want it to come across that way. It's just not very personable. But yeah. Help me out here.
We've gone down a rabbit hole. I'm going to pull us out a little bit. So,
the hashtags 20 to 30 on Instagram. Max out. Be smart about it. Now go on. Sorry.
So for a brand, okay. So there's a lot to consume, and we can go down a couple different holes again.
Let's do it.
For brands, if you're an Amazon seller, branding is key, right? We always tout you're going to be able to exit your business when you brand efficiently, effectively. You can say a story. You can do that many ways, through your posts, through your A+ content. It makes you stand out from other sorts of products that might be similar to you. How are people driving traffic and helping them build a brand? Like, what are the key components that you're telling people to start with? Is that Facebook? Is that Instagram? What are the best ways they can get started if this is their just starting journey?
You know, I'm a fan of this. You cover all the bases, so you can try but you don't have to necessarily you cover all the bases in the sense that you get a Facebook page, you know, named after your business. Keep it consistent, like, you know, Ppc Entourage, at Ppc Entourage. The Twitter, you know, get them all so someone else doesn't get them. You know, we ran into something where someone had a Ppc Entourage, and I filed like a complaint, or reported it because it wasn't being used, and it was just really fishy. It wasn't us, and so Instagram didn't get around to it. Surprise, surprise. So we just did Ppc _Entourage. But for the most part, you got to focus on just a few channels at first. But if you want, you can start, like create those pages. I recommend if you're in retail, you're selling anything under the umbrella, even if you're not in retail, which most of you are though, get Pinterest. Get Pinterest. Pinterest has so much organic potential. Can you guys still see me?
Yep, I got you,
okay.
Matt.
I can't see you, so I was just making sure.
I know. I'm just hiding. Look, here I am.
Oh, there you are. I like when you're there.
I told you this would happen. I'm here. I'm answering questions on the side that people have about you.
I'm needy. I don't like to be lonely. No,
that's all good.
I know. Do what you got to do. So I would say get a Facebook page. Okay. Get an Instagram handle. Get a Twitter handle, and get Pinterest.
Just to sit on it at the very bare minimum.
Yeah, and a TikTok or anything you want, but focus on 2 or 3 that you are. If you're doing this alone, or your marketing team, it has has strengths in certain areas. Like our team, mine is Twitter. Twitter, I've been on it since I don't know how many years now. It was like I was in college. It was 2007 or 8. And I have over 10,000 followers, and I'm very proud of it. I've earned it through long ago. It started with pumping out content for neighbors and constituents or people in DC. So about 30-40% of that are people from DC, and then the rest are now it's approaching 10-20% are e-commerce sellers and companies. I highly recommend you get those handles, whether you use them or not. But then whatever you're comfortable with, start putting out content as much as you can. And I mean, if you can't handle it more than 1 post a week, do 1 post a week to start out, and don't overthink it.
So what does that post mean? Like, what would you say is the best kind of content? Is it about your product? Is it about your service? Is it just like, hey, I saw this cute picture, I'm going to share it with my audience? What does that look like? I would say get some graphics together, your logos and branding, and get some messaging together. So introduce yourself when you have these new handles, your company, your brand, and come up with a line. PPC #PPC Entourage. I use the emoji with the scale going up, and then I say software to scale Amazon ads and results driven management, period. I have that at the bottom of most of our posts on Instagram and Facebook, and I leave them off some, but I think it's been more beneficial to have them on at the very bottom, because why not? And it ingrains what you are and what you do. But customer journey type of content is what me and a few others on the team are trying to build some SOPs and around to start rolling out all these little wins that we got to show people for real what our account managers are doing for our growing clientele. And that is something that you will see on the Entourage pages more and more in the next couple of weeks. But that's something actively we're working on right now. And the customer journey, I think, is something every agency or company that does stuff with Amazon sellers and e-commerce sellers in the marketplace are trying to get better at, or to. I mean, would you agree? I'm not sure. This is my perspective. Yeah. So to reset real quickly for everyone who's just tuning in, again, we're talking about social media and content management tips with Matt Abbruzzese from PPC Entourage. And again, we're kind of discussing ways to drive traffic, not just as service providers, but also as Amazon or e-commerce brand owners as well, because there's lots of different ways you can go down. So I wrote down a couple notes as we're talking, Matt. So from just the bare minimum, your tips and suggestions would be, and I wrote this down, at least make a consistent effort to brand across multiple platforms, even if you're not using it, to at least capture either a page, a handle, or a name, and then create a tagline And then once you start to build out your brand and your thoughts, you can start to introduce yourself, build out content at least once a week. And that's across these platforms. Another tidbit that I thought was really good that I heard in there was driving traffic from Pinterest, which is an underutilized platform that a lot of people are not using, not just for driving, just for traffic for your listing, but also for product ideas as well. Because I think people can get product ideas from just looking around Pinterest or like what people are posting about, Etsy, things like that, where you can not steal ideas, but get inspiration from there. That's what those platforms are for. So
can I talk about Pinterest?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about that.
So get on Pinterest, okay? Whatever you're selling, you can find the niche, I'm sure, on Pinterest. You know, one of my clients were pet products, and I mean Pinterest is great for that. Organically, like we got to a point where the handle had 300,000 a little over 300,000. I forget what you call it, like followers or actions on it. You know, people
clicks, impressions,
a month, and a day. Like literally, the traffic it drove to the website for this business, this Shopify website, and 2 listings as well. We're maybe over 1,000 people a day driving from all these posts on Pinterest that have a very long shelf life. You know, still to this day, that business has from 2017, 18, these articles, these blog articles on taking, cat care. And of course, then it has the product featured in it. Organically still, if I checked in right now, doing nothing, it just gets hundreds of eyeballs a day and clicks to the site, driving traffic to the site or to the YouTube or to your listing, especially on Etsy and Amazon. Unbelievable organic results. Get on Pinterest, do it, try it out, tag and make sure you tag where you want to drive the traffic to. In Canva, you can easily see what the size dimensions are for what the type of graphic sizes they like and what perform well. It's very simple. You know, I have a client now, or somebody I'm helping rather, who is starting out a business with horoscope zodiac stickers. She's starting out very small. I'm very proud of her. They are very cool designs, $3 a piece on Etsy. And I'm working with her to figure out Pinterest. So you do what I'm saying. You get your brand on there, your page, your one-liner, your website, little graphic and logo. You put out pins and you drive them to wherever you want to drive them. But then you save them to collections. I believe they're called still. And that is boards. Boards and collections. And so you can create your own, and you can and you should ask other people who like the cat ladies or who like fashion, whatever your niche is. Ask them to be a co-owner of the board, like so you can post in it. I was posting to 20 or more of these boards or collections every time I put out a pin, and like instant organic traffic. And then over time, it just grows more and more. This client's mother is a Pinterest queen with 14,000 followers. So I told her how to take advantage of mom's Pinterest, influencer page. And,
Mom, retweet me or something like that.
Yeah, Mom, let me in your collections. I swear, I told her what to do, and I know success is going to come from that. But I'll let you. Well,
it's interesting. Well, yeah, that's interesting because that's organic content. The best form of content is going to be educational in one way or another, right? It's through pictures or through blogs or just through consumable information where people come away and they say, "Hey, I learned something." If they want to learn more, then you drive them to hopefully your end point, right? So when it's just one person doing all this, what are the ways to spend your time and effort? Is it through blogs, or is it hiring out somebody that can maybe do this on the side, like a VA, or, you know, if they can't do it themselves, what are your suggestions in that regards?
Hire a copywriter. That is, lessons learned with political campaigns and my own. Should have hired somebody for my website and SEO. You spent, I could have had more time in the field with your own business. Hire a copywriter for your emails that you send out once a week or whatever. Hire a copywriter to get your blogs down right. Entourage, we have copywriters. I'm somewhat of a copywriter. I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not our email copywriter, our blog copywriter. But when it comes to once you start knowing and listening, social listening and learning your own audience and what they are interested in and want, how do you even get there? You can create a group. You can be just looking around, following, just a lot of research. It's really a lot of tedious work. So do what you can, but hire people, and it's definitely affordable and it's worth it. You will have time to do all the other things, especially if you're just starting out, or even if you have a big team, get a copywriter. It's one of the best investments you can do. And I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I would say for everyone who's listening, if copywriters or anyone that you don't want to full-time hire on, there's lots of great freelancers that will do great quality work. You can find those, again, like on a Fiverr, even on LinkedIn. I know they're building up that platform. So if you can find people who can help assist you with that, that's going to help build your SEO rank, again, organic traffic. What if we pivot real quickly and say, hey, I have a good social following. I'm putting out stuff organically, but when I want to pay for ads, I want to start investing in more of social content so that more people can find me if they don't already follow me. Where's the money well spent? Is it on ads for like Facebook, or like what would you suggest for someone who's starting out or a brand starting out?
That is a great question. And I'm going to say you can test out ad sets on targeted audiences, through your Facebook pixel on Facebook. I would be very wary. There's a lot of money wasted I've seen with a lot of companies, a lot of brands, and I mean thousands and tens of thousands of dollars wasted. And what do I mean by wasted? You want to earn your followers, and your likes and comments. You don't want to buy them. So you can put out ads on Facebook and think you're doing really well. Notice immediately that you're not getting as many clicks to your site and driving traffic, or to your listing, but you have all these likes and then there's comments. Well, who are these people? And you got to be careful. You got to do a lot of testing, and you have to have the right budget for it and be very, very careful. Because you can then, if whoever likes it, then you can say, invite them, click, 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 invite to like your page. But that's not what it's about, because it's going to be people that I don't know, or bots, and then also at the same time, you've got a lot of ad sets out there. You have to keep in mind the comments section. Comments of your ads get spammed like crazy, and people don't even realize it. And then it backfires on you, and you're wasting money. And it's a bad route. We're kind of jaded by Facebook ads at the moment, yet we use them. We just use them smarter and smarter, we think, as we go along. I've tried Pinterest ads, not recently, but I wouldn't go for that. Pinterest organically beats out Pinterest ads. Did you hear that, Pinterest? I'm saying that to you, like organic. You don't even need it. Yeah. I have run Twitter ads before, but not in a while. A weak point here for us is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something I'm trying to figure out. We're not putting money towards it yet, but we're trying to figure out a strategy to get likes, get comments, it's like putting stuff out there. And Facebook, it's harder these days. LinkedIn it boggles my mind, but we'll get there. Twitter, lots of success. Instagram, there's a lot of great tips out there all the time, and the algorithm's changing, like save it, is most important. I'm hearing now, like to, bookmark it or save that on the right, the ribbon on the right is more powerful. And Instagram probably hates that. People are, figuring it out so quick. But the bottom line is ads, I'd be very, very careful. I would put your ad money towards Amazon PPC, or I would just try to do it. I would just be very careful. And it's not something that I work on direct, we have a specific team and people that do it. I have done a lot of testing myself, but I just see way too many people time after time getting screwed over straight up.
Absolutely. And I would say, as an expert in this field too, working with like micro influencers in terms of like content swap, or people who have a decent following on any of those platforms to share your content, or if you are a brand owner, want to send them products. And you can, here's some tips and hacks that I can share with people as well that I've learned over the years. Go to your competitor and go to their tag section on Instagram. This is just for Instagram right now. Go to the tag section of people tagging them in photos. It's a public forum. You can tag literally almost anyone, theoretically, as long as it's open and forum. You can actually tag go to that section, see who's tagging, and go to those profiles, because more often than not, you're going to see that they're influencers, and know what their competitors are posting, their influencers are posting on their behalf. So you can either replicate it or stand out differently, or even approach them and say, hey, notice that you work with product XYZ. I have an improved version of it. I would love to know your thoughts. Love to send you a product and get your honest feedback, and potentially work with you in the future. So those are ways to know what your competitor's doing, but then also kind of keeping tabs on who's active in the space. Is there lots of likes? Is there a lot of content and engagement with them? Maybe pay them for their efforts in that regards, and see like where the money can be well spent in that regards.
Absolutely.
So that's an easy way to kind of, as a soft goods or, a goods brand, to look at that up, or even a service provider to kind of see following hashtags or following certain kinds of posts to make sure who's engaging with that. And like you said, there's so many different quote people out there with large followings, but as long as if they're not engaged, then that kind of defeats the purpose. So you need an engaged audience of people who are asking questions, or who have different thoughts, or sharing content, things like that. And that's always an invitation you want people to do.
Exactly. You hit it right on the point, and I can elaborate. I have some words for that. I agree with you wholeheartly. And to add to that, you have to engage with people. You have to comment. You have to you got to look around. And then they'll comment back. You have to be a part of it. Get one of those free unfollow for Twitter or Instagram apps, and see who's unfollowing you and who really is wants to follow you and who isn't. Because a lot of times it appears that they want to follow you, and you follow them back, and then they unfollow you. Okay, it's not about necessarily that, but it is because you want to have clarity about your audience, and you want to have an engaged, highly engaged fan base, and a true relationship with them, with real people who really want to follow you. And it's like when we're being followed and then unfollowed, or when that's not happening, it's either that's happening or they're following you and then they're spamming you, inundating you, messaging you, do my review for product, I'm kind of sick of it, but I respond back to them a lot of times and say, hey, thank you. And then I say, watch out for this, because it seems spammy. I say that in direct messages, or watch out for proxy marketing. Like if basically, the whole review thing and then you can easily get violated and suspended from Amazon by doing that, or ripped off. There's just so many scams out there. But get one of those free things to know the free apps to know who's unfollowing you, because then you want to unfollow those people because you thought that they were into your handle and liked what you do, but they really weren't. They just want the big thousands of followers, and that's not really what it's about. Although long term it is, and I promise you, 6 months, 1 year, years down the line, you'll have a big audience, and it'll be a real audience.
Absolutely. And just giving a quick shout out to the boss man. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Saying hi. Thanks for jumping in. You're a busy guy. Also, Mike has an awesome webinar that's today, I believe, with our friends. Oh, tomorrow with our friends over at Zonguru as well. Yes. Which shout out to both teams for putting together some really cool content. So check out. I think it's coming back to life. Re-emerging products from the dead. See, I remember
the Rise from the Dead webinar series. So it's zombie themed, hosted by the awesome John Tilley at Zonguru.
Yeah. And John's a friend of the show for sure. Yep.
Absolutely. And then boss man Mike Zagari, the founder and CEO of PPC Entourage, as
those two in the same room, man, is dangerous. Like those two in the same virtual room is quite dangerous. Like the knowledge that is like oozing from their ears, like when you just listen to them talk, is unheard of. But go ahead and check them out. Obviously, go check out that webinar again tomorrow. I believe it's live.
It's live at 3 p.m. And sign up. Go to Zonguru's pages, Entourage's pages, mine. Days of Nuggets, I even shared it out too. I think it's at 3 p.m. and they're going to walk through. What is it? They're going to walk through a live case study of how to bring your business back to life. People are going from dozens or hundreds of sales a day to lately people are going about to 10 to 20. It's devastating. And so check it out, sign up. It's free. It's on all our social handles or zonguru.com and PPC Entourage. You can find things to register for it. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be, like you said, knowledge bombs left and right.
That's awesome. We had a couple of questions actually came through that I promise I didn't miss, and I'm going to get to real quickly. Mm-hmm. So Mitt on YouTube, actually, I'm going to maybe I'll say it out loud for those who are listening. Could you tell me how to stop losses from frauds caused by buyers by dirty tricks on Amazon? Easy refund those buyers. So I think what they're getting at, they have three products and say one product is missing in Amazon refund themes. So I know you guys don't do like refunds in terms of people, but let's take this, and again, thank you for clarifying this on YouTube and asking this question. I'm going to kind of maybe pose this and maybe something that you might have to handle in your role is if people are commenting on product websites or branded websites or their social posts and say, where's my order? Where's my like product? I ordered this. It's bad social content. Is that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So bad social narrative. How do you reconcile things like that where it's more of a customer service issue potentially, or if it's a bot that's spamming a brand like yours?
So good. Great question. I don't know who asked that, but great question.
Amit, yeah. We'll shout out to Amit Agarwal.
Yeah, it's a great question. I face that all the time with my other clientele or the Amazon FBA sellers and other e-commerce sellers that I work with. Be honest. If it's, first of all, look who that person is, who the handle is. Are they? Is it a bot? Is it real? Did they buy your product? Did they get your subscription? Because if they did, then that's a legitimate question and something you should address. I wouldn't necessarily hide it, which you probably could, right? I would be transparent, respond back to them politely, directly. And if it's something that, every case is different, give them a refund or work with your Zendesk VA or something, work with them offline, be polite online, own up to it. And only if they're really a disgruntled, or just have a question or something, a buyer. Now, if it's not, report it in every way possible. just recently, PPC Entourage, we've been growing our audience, putting out great content. This is just a week or two ago, we are now at 5.0, 5 out of 5 record stars or whatever. Okay, I put in, we were at 3.4 or 7 because of 2 or 3 people on Facebook that did not have they were attacking our page. And immediately Facebook dropped our rating without checking, and we immediately disputed it. And so I was a squeaky wheel. I kept submitting stuff. And I don't know if it was, I don't know how it works on the support end, but now they have finally, it's been over a year, scrubbed that. And we have a 5.5 star rating. I'm going to work on getting more reviews from testimonials from our real people. But that was something that really looked bad and was unfair and out of our control almost, because these people were verified. We verified that they were not buying our subscription, that they did not have these experiences. And so they were attacking it. And then it made us look bad. And Facebook does not respond to stuff. I think that if you don't know that, and you file your disputes and complaints, but don't expect them to get back to you right away or maybe ever, but keep reporting them. Did I answer the question? Or
yeah, I think so. Well, I would say, my insight would be to obviously be very transparent with them and say, like, this is a valid question. We take it seriously. Either send us an email or direct to customer service with this dispute. This is how we handle everything in one place. And we will get it resolved. And really just be upfront with people and say, this is how we handle everything. If you funnel us, we will be more than happy to take care of this issue. And more often than not, if it's a legitimate issue, they'll reach out to you. If not, they'll just not respond. But at least people can see in social proof that you're reaching out to these people on your behalf. You're willing to listen and resolve it in a quickly and efficient way. So that would be my suggestion for bringing owners and creators. And
one more thing, publicly, if they're real and whatnot, you don't have to report it. Like I said, polite, straightforward, respond, and then DM them, message them, or contact them through, because you have their information, because they bought your product, and hear them out. Maybe say you're sorry if you have to. But what I've done many times in those cases for one business is create a special, give them sorry about this. We will figure it out. And here you can use this coupon code to get 15, 5, 10, 20, whatever % off if you want to buy something again. And I make the coupon code their first name, and 2020 or whatever. So know it's
that's a good,
or their first and last name. So they know that I'm not BSing them, and just they know I care, and it works.
That's a great tip. And before we kind of wrap things up, I know we can go down many different paths. I know how so quick an hour goes, right? I know there's a lot more. We're gonna have to have part 2 and 3, obviously, later on. I want to do a quick fire round of what you prefer as a content manager / marketing manager.
Let's do it.
This or that. I call this or that. I've done this a couple times, so we'll just stick with it. Paid or organic?
Organic.
Blogs or pictures or photos?
Blogs. Both? Blogs.
Impressions or clicks?
Clicks.
Like or love?
Love.
Video or audio?
Video.
And then influencer or content creator?
Content creator.
Awesome. That's aligns with a lot of the things I would feel with. But again, I know we have so much other things. I want to make sure we give time for Days and Nuggets real quickly. We've mentioned a couple times. Let's give a quick couple minutes about Days and Nuggets and why that's important. Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about it if people haven't heard about it. I know Mike told us about it. Right. I've been, inserting content. What is it for people who haven't heard of it?
So what is Days of Nuggets? Well, go to daysofnuggets.com. You can find us on, across social as well. Give us a follow. It's a great cause. What it is a charity, nonprofit organization, seasonal fundraiser type of deal that has now had 2 seasons, 2019 and 2020. And it's Amazon sellers giving bite-sized nuggets of amazing information. You'll see it when you go to daysofnuggets.com. You must. It's a win-win. All proceeds go to Operation Underground Railroad, which is an amazing nonprofit organization that has been around for a while, and they are on a mission, and they need a lot more help. So go try to contribute, or even just check them out. OURrescue.org. They are on a mission to end child slavery worldwide. I'm talking sex, child trafficking, exploitation, human trafficking. It is, and I'm not talking about any conspiracy type of stuff. This happened, this has been happening for hundreds of years, but this is happening right now. And this organization, Mike and I started, came out of truly following OUR for years, and hit dawning on Mike. He called me right away. In 10 days, we threw something amazing together. We didn't sleep. Oh my gosh. Check out daysofnuggets.com. You will grow your business, learn so much while helping us in the fight to end child slavery worldwide.
And I think tying this to our conversation we had today is that the power of social media and the power of influence and content can really drive change in the world, not just for making money off of it, but also driving for a cause that might be near to your heart. Whatever that might be, whoever you are as a brand owner, you could be building this brand because, your child couldn't do something, like there was they couldn't achieve something. So you built this for them, and now you're selling this for other kids who might have done it. Something similar to that context, where you hear the stories all the time of why people start businesses, and you can drive change through social, that's why social media was so popular, and why it was kind of facilitated is to drive change, but also to grow your influence to other people outside if you haven't heard of it before. So that's why it's
spread the
super
awareness.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I heard of
raise
it.
The money.
Exactly. Right? And that's the beauty of this circle is when people are successful, they can provide and achieve and put, efforts back towards a good cause like this, which is why I love it. So I was able to contribute to that. But check out Days Nuggets. I know there's lots of cool stuff in the pipeline for you guys this coming year. When you decide to do it, I'm assuming at the end of 2021 is the next time you guys will do this, but check it out. Yeah.
Check it out. If seriously, so much information out there. Follow the page, YouTube, daysofnuggets.com. If you can contribute, please. If you are an expert, if you have something and you have not been a part of this, thank you, by the way, for this was your first year doing it. I hope you come back for more nuggets next year.
If I'm invited.
We'll think about it. You can email nuggets@ppcentourage.com or matt@ppcentourage.com anytime between now and next holiday season. If you want to be a part of it and contribute a nugget to share with other sellers so they can grow their businesses while helping save children all across our country and the world.
Awesome. And Matt, thank you so much for sharing your nuggets today on this episode of Crossover Commerce. We appreciate you hopping on again. We'll have you back. We'll maybe do more of an in-depth dive on specific areas because we can go lots of different ways, man. So I appreciate, thanks for hopping on, and hopefully this was a blast for you. Anytime you're welcome on as a friend of the show.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Right. Thank you.
And again, everyone, thanks so much for Matt again from Ppc Entourage for joining us live on Crossover Commerce. It's truly awesome to have people like him on our show. Again, if this is your first time or your 80th time, this show is to bring nuggets of wisdom in the Amazon and e-commerce space. I go live about 4 to 5 times per week in order to give you the most value I can from my guests on this show. This is presented by PingPong Payments. So again, shout out to PingPong for kind of pushing this show to create education and awareness. But also, if you want to learn more information, check out the link in the comment section below. Again, you won't be disappointed. It's free to sign up. Make sure that you sign up to help save money when selling internationally or receiving or sending money internationally as an Amazon or e-commerce seller. So check that out in the link below for a special, first month of your international FX for free. Just sign up today. You have to click on the link below and make sure you check that out as well. For Matt, I'm Ryan. This is my show, Crossover Commerce. Again, tune in next time when we'll have more tips and knowledge in the Amazon and e-commerce space. Again, Crossover Commerce, episode 80. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care, everyone.